Cartoon time. This year's Designer of the Year is Jamie Hewlett, the visual wizard behind Gorillaz, the world's most successful animated band. In a rare interview, fellow Toon anorak Mark Kermode went to meet him.
It was Jamie Hewlett's iconic animation that brought to life the virtual pop group Gorillaz. The project was the brainchild of Hewlett and Blur frontman Damon Albarn, who shared a belief that the pop world was like a cartoon, so why not treat it like one? Their eponymous first album sold over 6 million copies worldwide and spawned the hit single Clint Eastwood. But they were just warming up. The second Gorillaz album, Demon Days, was released in 2005 and saw the band reach new heights both musically and visually. This culminated in their breathtaking live shows in which the cartoon band members were fully realised on stage in 3D. They've won Grammys, Webbies and acquired a huge fan base, and this year Hewlett was named Designer of the Year. He's clearly an inspirational figure, but who inspires him?
I've long been a fan of his work, and he and I share a passion for zombie and horror movies, so I've come here to his studio to find out what animates Jamie Hewlett. Obviously the big influence that you see in watching the Gorillaz videos is horror movies. Tell me about your love of horror films.
My love of horror films started when I was quite young, maybe 13.
Yeah.
And I bunked off of school and went round my friend's house. And he had Dawn of the Dead, so we sat and watched it, and it had a real effect on me. I couldn't sleep for months. I used to imagine the door would fly open, all these blue-faced people would come in, and it really did do my head in, basically.
But the first great horror film is like your first love or your first kiss. You remember it in a way that you just don't remember ordinary things.
Yeah,
it's heightened
absolutely.
reality. It's wonderful, isn't it?
And the tagline from Dawn of the Dead, when there's no more room in hell,
the dead shall walk the earth.
Which always just really made this hair stand up on the back of my neck, like, what a thought.
There is just a sheer aesthetic love of that film in your work, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm obsessed by it. First studio I had before, when we were just starting Gorillaz, I used to work in there by myself. I spent about 2 weeks starting every day watching Dawn of the Dead and The Exorcist.
There is no finer preparation for a day. In terms of The Exorcist, like the Rocket video, which has the animated statue of Pazuzu, and also the flash frame subliminal, which you've ripped off lovingly from The Exorcist. What is it about those images?
There's a scene at the beginning, Father Merrin and the statue. I have to be careful what I say about The Exorcist around you, because I could get it wrong. But he stands, there's a two-shot with him standing looking at the statue with, I don't know, sort of the morning sunlight or the dusk, whatever, and it just looks like an incredibly scary statue. For the Rocket video, one of the guys who works for me, I got him to sort of make a sort of CG version of it, and so we could have it singing. For the flash scene, we used Michelle McManus from the Pop Idol.
You just did her face up as the demon face?
I got a photo and we just, turned her into a ghoul.
The Gorillaz sound is an infectious mix of international musical styles, and appropriately, Hewlett's animation inspirations also come from both home and abroad.
So, America. The key things for you from America would be what?
I would always go with Chuck Jones, Daffy Duck.
Come on, Daffy's my name.
Daffy Duck is my all-time hero. Daffy Duck was essentially an absolute sod. I mean, he was nasty, selfish, paranoid.
Destructive.
Yeah. There's one particular Daffy Duck cartoon where him and Porky Pig go into town to catch this cattle rustler. And they're drinking at the bar, and they meet the cattle rustler, and he orders this ridiculous drink that's so hot that the ice cubes jump out and run away, and he drinks it like this, and his hat goes, and that's the only reaction. And Daffy Duck says, bartender, bartender, where's mine? And he comes and he And you sort of, nothing happens, and then suddenly it just all goes to pieces, and his hat goes, and he starts losing his mind.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
Just makes me cry of laughter.
Is it true that you only allow your kids to watch this Jungle Book and 101 Dalmatians, and that's it as far as Disney's concerned?
Yes.
You're a total
Jungle Book-
Nazi in that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they watched that stuff for a while, and then I decided to put my foot down because, you know, Jungle Book's a beautiful film, and
It's a great
the songs in Jungle Book are incredible.
Yeah.
Probably the best Disney songs ever.
I mean, bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life.
And 101 Dalmatians isn't a great film, but I love the animation. I love the style.
Can you imagine, Raj? 15 puppies.
15? 15 puppies? How marvellous!
Japan, also, you've taken a lot of influence from films from Japan. Tell me what those key influences are.
Akira was always one, definitely. I'd never seen an animated film that was that violent and adult, you know, and beautiful animation, beautiful characters. How could you not be totally blown away by that? And even today, watching that it's still right up there. I can remember when I first saw a Miyazaki film. I saw Castle in the Sky. But that being the first time that I'd seen a film that didn't have singing cutlery in it, or wasn't sort of sprinkled with that magic Disney dust.
There are sequences in the Gorillaz videos that actually directly reference Castle in the Sky. I mean, you have the floating island.
I just thought it was just a beautiful image.
And
And so that came into the Gorillaz feel-good video.
Closer to home, there's British animation, British culture. So what are the key things that you've taken from here?
Yellow Submarine,
What from Yellow Submarine?
Blue Meanies.
We meanies only take no for an answer.
Yeah, kind of like my early zombies, I suppose.
Yeah, yes, of course, yeah, blue.
Blue
yeah.
faces, machine guns. They used to wear little high heel shoes, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. And the way they'd speak, that horrible little niggling voice. And I think probably the last great British animated film ever made.
So what else from Britain is key for you?
Tony Hart, probably.
Why do you say that as a bit in laughing?
Because
Why?
I said it as a joke once, but then the more I thought about it, I realised that, in fact, I used to come home from school and watch Tony Hart every week.
Come on, wake up, North. Time for the gathering.
One thing he said that stuck in my mind was that if you could draw a perfect circle freehand, then you were a true artist. That stuck with me for years.
So you spent hours
Hours trying
doing that.
to get a perfect
You
circle.
got a piece of paper? Just show me how close to a perfect circle you can draw on the Tony Hart rule.
Oh,
No, seriously, try.
I have to
Get into the zone, all
I
right?
have to imagine Tony Hart like a sort of an older, fatter Fred from Scooby-Doo.
That's rubbish. You see this? Look, right?
It's
I mean, that's not
possible.
even close.
It's not possible. I could sit here all day and you wouldn't get it. So he was lying to me.
So we've talked about the animation that's influenced you throughout your life. If you sort of look at the state of animation now, what kind of health is it in?
Everything's CG, CG, CG. And it's fine if it's done well and if it has a great story. But I mean, that's not the case. A lot of sort of American animated films, it's written because it's going to be animated and we're going to have a talking squirrel and we're going to have this, and it'd just be nice for people to animate some great stories, but use that medium to tell the story. That's all, folks.